Hi, welcome. I'm Sharon Martin from Inner Sanctum Studios, bringing through to you today messages from Gaia about what is going on our earth and in our energetic systems. And it's exciting and it's big. Hello, welcome. I will just begin. So you may have been feeling yesterday, especially this kind of feeling of respite in the energies, as though there was a stillness within them, a calm after the storm. And you may be experiencing both relief and release as we close off this round of energies that we finished yesterday, which was what I was told, which feels more like this kind of holistic settling and deeper integration. And I was shown this white crystalline sparklers in celebration of this time as more and more are flocking towards the energetic bridge to higher dimensions. So really the collective is well awakened now, and many of them are moving towards this dimensional bridge, the sense of moving higher, of feeling safer, of feeling excited. Hi Leah, hi Stacey, hi Sally, hi Charlotte, welcome, thank you. And then today, wow, today's energies, there's this further stretching in the heart and in the higher heart, which brings this sensation of divine purpose landing. It's really landing with people now as their higher hearts are expanding and opening and revealing that. And so even those who are unaware of this may feel this intuitively today. That's how that came across, and may gain sound guidance, really, inner guidance over their next step or their pathway. So that's everybody. Getting little sort of, I guess, tinglings and subtle nuances of energies around it. So also likely for everyone to be feeling these emotions close to the surface today. If you're not in the pattern of expressing your emotions out loud to yourself, this is a great day to begin that practice. So you can place your hand on your heart and take a few breaths. So let's just do that now. So place your hand on your heart, take a few breaths in and out. Do that with me. And close your eyes and ask yourself, how are you feeling today? Sit and wait for your heart. Ask your heart, is there anything you wish to share with me? Is there anything you want to give me, gift me, tell me, show me at this very moment? And just sit with that patiently for a few moments. Witness what arises, either as a feeling, a sensation, a movement, a word, an activated thought. And just thank your heart for bringing you that clarity. There's a lot of energy around being able to be in clarity today. So this crystallized rain, that's how the energies showed up this morning. Like a crystal curtain. And in a simple sentence, I am told we are being clarified, crystallized, and upgraded, each in their own succession and progression. So we may not all be getting exactly the same things at the same time or in the same sequence or order. Many are in final preparation for the big ascension wave. That's exciting. That makes me feel very moved inside. So this is what is going to wash over us in the 1111 portal, which will open earlier, of course. At least it will at least be open on the 9th and maybe open earlier than that, but it's at least going to be open, I'm showing, for 3 days either side. We are in an eclipse gateway that rolls into this and prepares us for the 1111 portal. And I'm clearly told by Gaia that this is an ascension movement. Now, how each of us responds to that, receives that, will be up to us, up to where we are at in our process and what we are ready to receive. And we can ask for that in a conscious way. Guy showed up this morning in the cave wearing this crystal evening dress, in exact kind of mirroring of the rain, this crystal rain that she was showing me. And the whole of the inner earth this morning was lit up a lot like a fairy grotto. It was this really festive atmosphere of celebrations, and I, in my weird, wacky way, even saw some of the dragons wearing fairy lights and dancing. They were festooned with these lights. And I get there is no turning back. There is no way this can be undone, reversed, or turned around. We are in our ascension process now, and we began that in a very, well, we've been in it for a while, but we began that in a more sort of gentle progression, an up-leveled progression, but gentler on the 25th in the first eclipse. That's what I'm showing, that we are moving through these eclipse portals like this long tunnel, and then kind of burst up into the 1111. For those who can't yet feel this, it does not mean that they are not ascending. It's just that they are in a different or earlier part of their ascension process. But everybody is being affected by these energies, whether they notice it, know it, or not. We're going through a lot of mental mind expansion and intuitive development through the crown chakra, and the third eye activation is prominent for many. This is connected to the heart and the higher heart, of course, and through the throat, which catalyzes illumination about purpose and divine love, divine destiny, and higher thinking. So this is most potent when the lower chakras are balanced and healed. And so just be mindful and aware of that for yourself, for your clients, that the lower chakras now, if they're out of alignment or not balanced or not healed, that's important. Solar plexus energies may be strong at the moment, as deeper And earlier experiences are highlighted for clearing and for healing, because as we've gone into this higher dimensional space, it allows us to access lifetimes and healings from higher dimensional experiences and lifetimes. So these stronger purification energies are pouring in now, and they are going to assist this finer and deeper aspects that are becoming accessible through this time. So are you feeling deeply into this sacred journey home to self? Because that is precisely what we're doing. We're in the end times of this sacred journey home to self, to wholeness, to our higher divinity, to our higher consciousness, and to our ascension. So I just want to find this. I read this bit about this astrology, which I thought was just so perfect and poignant, and I might repeat it on the twins video as well, because it applies everywhere. So this was from a YouTube channel called Soulful Insights, and so this is what they were saying, that the new moon portal solar eclipse on the 25th of October was carrying solar masculine energies, and the lunar eclipse, the partial lunar eclipse on November the 8th, is carrying the lunar feminine energies. So keep in mind that eclipses are about, revealing, showing us what we haven't seen before. And of course, we're in this massive revelation in time of truth, this truth coming up from within self and from within our world and from our history. And that together, they activate through the 1111 portal, and this activates divine unconditional love. So this is according to astrology, which is this perfect match up to what Gaia has been speaking about. And so these eclipses, they are transformative. They serve as catalysts for destiny's calling. The energy and rebirth of the heart and sacred merging, and also that it's a south node eclipse, and that the south node from our astrology charts carries the energies of endings followed by fated new beginnings. So this lunar eclipse signifying endings and completions of a cycle, and bringing through and activating emotional feminine energies. And so the 8th will highlight these fated endings that occur on the edges of new beginnings, and together those two eclipses, they activate the master gateway, what I am always shown as the illuminated gateways, the pillars of ascension, and they are activating unconditional love and oneness. So that's the energies that we're in at the moment. They are pretty incredible. And let me look at the time. Oh no, that's all right. So I'm just going to carry on with the divine feminine, divine masculine. Just excuse me, I've got notes everywhere. Right, I think that I'm in the right place. I was going to talk about, I will actually just now. So we are going through lots of body upgrades. We're going through a lot of upgrades to do with our psychic development. So let me just read you this. So our eyes are being upgraded again. Sharper vision to come, clearer long distance, much longer than we are, in and experience now. This is, like vision into the next level. Oh, yeah. And so I got shown that in this balancing up, that's going to balance up our vision as well. So maybe you are or are not aware, but the feminine's eyes have greater peripheral perspective and vision. So women can see more broadly in perspective. And you might have experiences of that showing up in your world where, it's that classic, it's in the fridge, I can't see it. And that's your son in the fridge, right? They can't see it. They just don't have the same peripheral vision. But the masculine eyes have longer vision and they have better night vision. So those are just two kind of gender-based facts about our vision. And so that's why men are able, they're more comfortable driving at night often than women are, because they just have that night vision. So Gaia was telling me that the masculine's peripheral vision is now going to increase, and our long distance vision, everybody's long distance vision will increase. So even the masculine will be able to see further. Everyone, I should look at my notes since you're trying to remember. Everyone gets a night vision upgrade. I think, JS, I think you're Jackie, are you? Is saying she can attest her vision has changed. I had floaty things that miraculously disappeared. Fantastic. Right, sharper vision to come, clearer long distance, masculine greater peripheral, feminine clearer long distance, much longer, and everyone gets a night vision upgrade. And we're getting lots of upgrades in the head to continue. So there's been a lot of crown activations. There's been a lot of activations in people's psychic development. So in the ears, in the audio, if you feel a lot of pain in your ears, then that's often to do with an audio upgrade, that you can hear things coming in your psychic hearing and your clear audience. And even if you do hear, you may find that you are hearing more or can hear more clearly. And I don't know whether I've spoken about this or not, but in the eyes, there's all of this triangulation, like this. They show up like ligaments, really. So it's not a panel of a triangle, it's lines, or like ligaments show up in triangulation inside the head, between the physical eyes and the third eye, between the occipital bone, the temples, the pituitary and the pineal. All of those are having those triangulations that come in. They are upgrading in there. A lot of people are having crown activations, and a lot of people are having these activations in the higher heart, and then this expansion through both the heart and the higher heart, which is linking into the throat. So there's, in all of these upper chakras, so the throat is being activated to be able to speak truth and to be able to access the feelings that this heart opening, this heart expansion is allowing those who've not been working from their hearts to begin to be in dialogue with their feelings. And so for those who have perhaps just been starting working with their hearts or some of their psychic development, I always say to people that often it's a little bit like developing your own dictionary. And so you have trial and error about what things mean and where you might feel things. And that exercise we did with the heart earlier on, you can do that with the rest of your body as well, to find out information about, what is going on and what are you feeling and what is it telling you and what does it need and how is it describing it and what are the sensory experiences or what are the historical experiences as well. So that's all of that in the head. And then this the solar plexus often has quite strong connections to this speaking truth as well, because there's a lot that we hide in our solar plexus. That is to do with power, self-empowerment, and loss of power. It's a place where we've often had our power stolen from or taken from or siphoned from. So that's in this chakra that sits under the rib cage, and it's got its parallel rear aspect at the back. And often it's a place where, as a healer, I find that there are hooks in that area, but it's when people are taking one another's power, and some people do that deliberately, and some people do that just because of their unintentional nature to be overpowering, overbearing. And so this often connects to this ability to be speaking out, to be able to, well, often it's to be able to say no. So all of this is, being cleared up, cleaned up. And so you might find that some really old life experiences from a long time ago are coming up to be cleared around that. So in that area is also where our inner child sits, in my view, in my work. And so when they are fully healed, they are fully integrated. Otherwise, they will show up with what it is that they need. So we're really in the finer nuances of our healing now, so we can come into our higher consciousness. And this is this journey that we are on. What else can I just speak about in terms of this body upgrade? I haven't asked about this yet, but I've had this very strange experience of feeling this excessive heat in both my hands and my feet, and it's had also the feeling as though I've got little tiny shards of glass in both my hands and my feet. And I haven't asked about that, but it reminded me of this time maybe 10 years ago at Easter, where I went to this healer, and I said to her, I just feel like I've been crucified. And she said, well, that is really interesting that you're saying that, because I am pulling barbs of wire out of your wrists. And so, I'm not saying that I was crucified, but, we've all had all of these experiences back through time. And a lot of us have been hung up and stretched out and all sorts of things like that. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, that was that. We are, of course, and I have said this before, but in case you missed it, we're heating up on the inside, aren't we? The core of the earth is heating up. The core of us is heating up. We have more. I don't have any way of measuring it other than in my own experience, but I'm definitely warmer. I definitely feel warmer in my body, and in the day I need less covering for the weather, even though the weather has improved. I've noticed this prior to that. Some people are feeling pain in their back and in their spine, and a lot of this, I believe, is to do with spinal fluid activation. A lot of the codes that are coming in, the filaments and codes from the sun, the flares, the C class flares, the M class flares, the X class flares, in my view, they are coming in to upgrade our bodies, and they do that in a cellular internal way. So that might come in through your external vortexes of chakras, it might come in through your field, it might come in through your skin, and a lot of it comes in through the crystalline grids that then come up into our own crystalline chakra. In my view, we have an earth chakra, which sits under the earth, and underneath that sits a crystalline earth star chakra. And that's where I see a lot of these codes sort of, they gather, they show up to me as little envelopes, like little seed packets. And I know that's just metaphorical, but that's how they show up to me. And so a lot of this is coming into there. And as we are doing our work, grounding in, walking on the earth, they are released and they are coming up, and they are coming into the tailbone, and that is moving up through the spine. And this is I believe, this activation, these reconnections, what Gaia calls the re-smoothings. So the smoothing, soothing, sealings, reconnections of our DNA strandings. And we are moving through to having our 12 strands of DNA reconnected, which is in alignment with our higher consciousness and our higher gifts. And it will go beyond that. We'll go to 44 strands or is it 48? 48 strands, sorry. We go to 48 strands, and then we'll move up as we climb this spiral that I'm always referencing, because this spiral represents our consciousness and our ascension and our DNA activations and our planetary ascension, our personal ascension, our humanity ascension, and the planet's ascension. And it's spiraling, and that's how I'm showing all of our movement. All of our movement is in this spiral, and as we are moving up this, we're purifying and releasing, and then we are bringing in more of this light. So a lot of women, and this will also apply to men, but a lot of women have in their lifetime been silenced, especially if you had a lifetime as a witch. So in my kind of knowing, the witches of our world were these incredible herbalists, medicine women, and many of them were also very good brewers of mead and other kind of brews that were used for, I guess, feel good, but also for well-being. And they were a nuisance. So they were a nuisance to the men. They were challenging to their power. And so a lot of them were shut down in a variety of ways. And as we know, the witch burnings and the hangings and the hangings and the burnings in the same ceremony. So the combination of those. And so a lot of us have had those experiences, and so these might all be coming up as well. I feel like I've been clearing my throat chakra for years, but it still has a bit of gravel in it. And I know in my experience, for example, I have been hung, I don't know how many times, but I would say at least a dozen times that I've been hung in a variety of ways from a variety of platforms, and had my throat slit, and been chased down, run down, shot at, all sorts of things for speaking, and a lot of you will have been the same. And so just be aware that some of that might be coming up, and just address it, just feel into it. Is it fear? Is it real? Is it here? Is it old? What does it have to tell you? As we're clearing out the throat. The throat to me is the bridge between our fears and our voice, our self-protection and our truth. And so, yeah, speaking out loud to yourself can also be a way of finding your way across with that. Sometimes when you speak things out loud, your body will give you clearer messages, and you'll feel shivers somewhere, or you'll feel a contraction somewhere, and that might help you unpack it. But we are so much in the kind of end points of all of this undoing and retrieving and revealing, and the truth coming out, the veils being ripped back, and this ability to see who we are and who we have been and who we are becoming, and then to claim it. All right. I'm just going to continue on rather than going off and coming back in again. Oh, I have to tell you as well, because I think this will apply to a lot of you, is that the other day it's hot in here. I need to get a fan in here now. Is that I was giving a channeled message to a client, and I said to her, okay, so this is the message. You are going to be given a story. The story is going to come in what Spirit is describing as breadcrumbing, like follow the trail. And they are going to come through the symbols of the 1111 and of the male blackbird. And I said, so that's what you need to keep a lookout for. Anyway, we stepped outside of my clinic. Oh, no, just before we stepped outside of she said something to me, and I said, oh, I don't know. I'll look that up. And I pressed the home button on my phone, and she said, oh, no, I already knew that. And I said, oh, well, I wonder why I pressed my phone then. And she said, because look, it says 1111. And then we walked outside, and I said to her, and there, sitting on that post, is a male blackbird. That's what a male blackbird looks like. So these symbols, not specifically those ones, but just be aware that we are going to be having lots of symbols coming up, and they will come in a variety of forms. And also I wanted to say to you that she is my client who is on the spectrum, and she is very young, and she has started her own company called X Abilities. So if you think about the letter X and the word abilities, X Abilities. And so this represents the extra abilities that these beautiful autistic people have, that you and I, many of, and her are aware of. And she has recently procured a space here in Auckland to set up a kind of drop-in centre for autistic people. So you can look her up. She does have a YouTube channel, and she has a Facebook page. And yeah, so she's in the process of setting that up. So her name is Tamara. Right, so eyes, ears. Oh, you know, there's just, it's a repeat, but yeah, there is this thing about more people developing that psychic gift of being able to smell things that aren't present through their nose. And for me, I was remembering that often I've had that experience when Mother Mary has been around. And so I went into this chapel in Sedona once, and it was the Mother Mary chapel. And as we walked in, I thought, oh, there must be roses in here. And there were, but they were plastic or fabric. And oh no, I can still smell it. And then I realised that she was standing beside me. So You know, we can get given these clues in many different ways. What else? Oh, this internal combustion energy that can be showing up very much for people as a churning, as a moving up and down in the gut. It can be quite, a lot of people are suffering from feeling sick and nauseous. A lot of extra toileting, maybe, well, you can definitely feel the heat in the toileting, softer stools, fingertips tingling, definitely energy in the heart and across. It's a horizontal band that you can feel. And so how that's shown up for me with my clients is this band that stretches across the lower heart and a band that stretches across the higher heart. It's this expansion, so we can access more, we can feel more, we can be in greater love, we can access the connections that the heart has to our higher divine light as well, the divine light that sits in here in the back of our energetic heart. Okay. Let me go here to twins. Divine feminine. Lots of notes about the divine feminine. Who are you? That's what came first. Who are you? So this was a couple of days ago. Yes, the 29th. Big energies in the head, and you might have been feeling a lot. The body was very sensitive on the 29th. Keep in mind. I mean, it's interesting to me that so in New Zealand, like, we see the day first. So often, like, for example, here now for us, it's 5:40 p.m. on the 31st of October. And so in other parts of the world, like in the UK and Europe, they are, I'm not sure where they're at with daylight savings, but they are at around maybe it's about 4:40 a.m. for them. And so we have this stretch of time. So, you know, the dates are not that meaningful really, because we each hit them at different times. But this is what came through from Gaia. Who are you? Are you coming into accountability to yourself and your own empowerment through purification, stability, and alignment with your authentic self? You becoming self-sourcing, self-resourcing, lifting yourself up into your sovereign help, into your sovereign self, where truth cannot be held down. Are you clear? Are you balanced? Are you balanced internally? And are you coming into higher integration in your physical? Well, actually, you are. You are coming into that. Are you amazing on your own? Are you connected strongly to your own inner divine flame? And are you ready? That was the question that came up. Is your pathway forward cleared and open for your own healed, authentic self and filled with love? Are you able to be more seated in unconditional love and building or becoming more full with this, more filled with this? Are you at peace? Are you at peace knowing who you are in your fully aligned goddess self? This completion of you, issues attended to, wounds healed, codependency complete, finished, gone. And our divine masculines, they are developing this acceptance of their psychic gifts and intuition. They are really opening up in that regard, receiving clear guidance and recognition of their telepathy with their divine feminine. And they are also going through quite incredible emotional detoxing and healing. So they have been in this space where they've been examining and releasing their old beliefs and paradigms, aligning their energies and beliefs to new and higher consciousness, and with greater recognition of their own capabilities. They're learning to read within their own energetic fields. They are beginning to work with energies and beginning to have an experience of them and understanding of them, playing with them, really, developing mastery in this way of operating, and these tools that they can be using in their energetic bodies with their energies there. And I mean, internal tools. This recognition of being able to manage and to clear out, to do some of their own internal healing and balancing. And yeah, coming into that place of healing. But I want to tell you that it's quick, it's fast. We're in these very quick energies. And so each of us coming into our own impeccable accountability. So that's what each of the divine masculine and divine feminine are doing. In general, I am showing that right at this moment, the divine masculines are very focused on themselves. They are exploring their, excuse me, that's my son calling, that makes me laugh. So, yeah, they're very focused on themselves at the moment. They're exploring their psychic abilities and awareness. They are having connection and dialogue with themselves, with their heart, with their higher heart, and with a mental focus on what has to change in their life. So this is it's like an inner conversation between their higher self and their physical self, between their three-dimensional existence and their five-dimensional existence. This conversation back and forth. But what about this? Well, what about this? Well, that used to happen. Well, now that's false. Well, now you're moving towards that, but that means I have to give up that. Well, that's okay because that doesn't fit anymore. So this kind of internal dialogue. So what has to change in their life and how to organize this. And for them, it's real. It's tangible. It's this physical problem solving in response to what their emotional body is communicating to them. And so they are just learning more about their energetic bodies and this understanding of how it impacts in their world. All right, so I'll just check and see if there's any questions in here and say hi to the other people who have popped in. Hi, Stacey. Oh, it is. It's really exciting. Like, I want to say to you that I just don't have any doubts that we're in the end of the end. We're in the end of this game we are in the other thing is that, there's been this whole dance metaphor. Well, the masculine are perfecting their pirouette, the feminine are perfecting their pirouette, and it's getting higher, faster, more aligned, and it will spin together into one pirouette. That's the kind of another part of that story. Yes, Jackie, I think, saying her vision has changed. Sarah saying lots more ringing in the ears, and yes, old things coming up. So these old things are coming up for us to go, hi, I see you. Is there anything more here to be done? All right, thank you. You can go, or you can be dissolved and integrated, because it's not that we're exiting parts of ourselves. It is that we're recognizing parts of ourselves and we're integrating them. And so it's this thing that I've been speaking about over time, is that we are in this receipt and integration of ourselves back through time and through to, we are integrating now definitely 6th and 7th dimensional components or history or experiences or wisdom or knowledge. We're integrating it into our physical, because we are integrating all of our multidimensional aspects into our physical body. And it's this ongoing process of, catalyzing, release, purifying, integrating, bringing in more that does that same process. And we're becoming these incredible, amazing, higher beings with higher consciousness and greater facilities, abilities to be able to use and perform in this higher way, but in physical form, this illuminated being. We are becoming this light-filled, illuminated, ascended being, and operating in this 5th dimensional space, which we're about to ascend into, and we will reside there. At the moment, we're moving, in and out a little bit, and this is this integrating all of us, like all of the beings that you have been throughout time and space. Jace is saying the heat is too much for me. Yeah, there's a lot of heat, hey. Golden, hi, Golden. I had body aches, head pressure, headaches. Oh, yes, that's the other thing about the head. Thank you for reminding me about that. And I will speak to that too, is that, there's so much that's coming in, and our heads have that, that facility. The skull can move, and it has components where it can stretch and expand, but the pressure of it is very intense, can bring a lot of headaches. And yeah, this not motivated low vibes, I have to tell you that it's just a part of ascension. It's the old fighting the new. It's the old body fighting the new body. It's the new paradigm fighting the old paradigm. As it's leaving and exiting, we're kind of in this internal shuffle with it. Well, what about that? Well, no. Well, what about that? Well, yes. Well, how do we manage it? How it's all about this process. So just be with it. Just be with that. Yeah, I was experiencing that. I don't know when, but a couple of weeks ago, I think I had a couple of days where I was just like, yeah, full of apathy. That's how I would describe how I was. I was just like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do, and oh, who cares? I don't care. I've got no energy. And so there's low energy, this apathy. This is how I see it. It's our new upgraded body. It's coming in and it's challenging parts of our old way of being. And so it's this kind of internal battle. Yes, so hello, Sarah, if I didn't say hello to you, and to Tina and Larissa, 6:40 a.m. in Europe. Yes, early. Thank you. Watching from Ireland, says Anne, and it's 4:40 there, relating to throat issues and feeling it's dangerous to speak. Yeah, so just tune into self, because this is past stuff, possibly. I can't judge your situation, but it is possibly past stuff, because there were lots of times where the souls of women, anyway, or the souls and bodies of women were definitely challenged for speaking out. Fiona's saying how lovely she is ready. Extraordinary. Hooray, Divine Masculines. I know. Let's have a party for the Divine Masculines, because they are these, and we know, they are these extraordinary, amazing men, and they are really stepping into who they are, and it is fantastic. So the veil, well, the veil is thinning. I see it as like, if you think about a sheer piece of fabric, I see it as layers of that, layers and layers and layers of that, and there's more and more and more coming down, and this is what we are rising into, and it will be very interesting when we go through this 1111 portal to see what shows up in that regard, how much of what is real, because who knows, but I believe we're being shown more and more of it, and those veils are coming down. And so, yeah, you can see those as these transparent layers that hide truth, that hide our history, that keep us from seeing who we really, really are. Hello, Donna Jean. All right. So, yeah, very exciting times. And, of course, all of that information about, the solar eclipse affecting the masculine, the lunar eclipse affecting the feminine, and then coming into this completion and rising up through this 1111 gateway, which has always been shown to me, and Gaia has been speaking about this being an ascension movement. So we will have an ascension movement, an ascension moment through that 1111 gateway, and whether that's you personally, us as humanity, the whole of the planet, is all conditional on where we are at as a collective. It's the tipping point. Definitely seen the light pillars and felt deep vibrations during meditation. Yeah, those light pillars are each of us as well. That's our place on the earth. We are these deliberate, higher consciousness, crystalline light pillars, being these conduits for this light to anchor it in and move it through. So it's really beautiful, and I thank you. I thank you for your work, and yeah, it's time to allow yourself to feel excited about where we're at and where we've come from, and how much we have grown and cleared and healed and developed, and to be in readiness for this next time. All right. Much love to all of you, and we'll see you again next time.